Welcome to Cool Factor Cards.
Where we're going to talk about my first card show. Hit the theme music, honey.
It's the first episode. We don't have any theme music yet.
Why?
It's on the shopping list. I'm waiting on the guy from Fiverr to kick it off.
Well, you really messed that one up.
But welcome to Cool Factor Cards, where I bring the cards.
And I bring the cool.
And it just, kind of flows from there. This is a show all about, the cool factor. Ultimately, I'm trying to zone in. I've been collecting for years. My name is Chris.
I'm Whitney.
And I've been collecting for years. And I watch a lot of content, just like you probably do. And they're always talking about color blasts and kabooms. I don't got the money for color blasts and kabooms. And they're always talking about the most recent set and everything like that. I love cards from the 90s, and I love cool cards, and I love random cards. This is a show, a podcast, whatever you want to call it, where we're going to be just discussing the cool cards, cool sets, underrated stuff, garage band style. You don't even know about it. Cool.
That's not necessarily something that you have to spend a lot of money on either.
And that's kind of the point. This is an expensive hobby, or can be an expensive hobby.
We're not going to necessarily call it just a hobby. We'll call it an investment, shall we?
I'm going to be honest and say it's a hobby. There are times, and let's talk straight about that. Let's just jump right into the first segment, right?
All right, let's do it.
So sometimes we'll try to lie to ourselves and say it's an investment. And it can be if you get the right thing and you're a very tight spender.
It's an investment / gambling at the same time.
If you spend let's just be completely honest. If you spend like it's an investment, then it will perform like an investment. But the reality is most of us are gambling. Most of us are opening wax. Yeah. Most of us are buying product and throwing money into the trash can.
Or like as we've seen, like I've entered a couple breaks as of now, being that I'm just getting into it. And it's addicting. I mean, you're waiting to get that big rush, that big hit, and eventually...
That's not an investment.
No, it's not an investment. You're just throwing money at something and hoping for the best. And I think like there is a different way that you can absolutely invest in doing the hobby rather than just kind of throwing money and hope that you hit a lucky streak.
Which is why I like to say it's kind of like an income producing hobby, or can be an income producing hobby.
If you do it right, yeah.
Where I lock up my money in some cards, and in the event that I decide to sell it, these things are pretty darn liquid. If I spend good money on a good card that's pretty liquid, that's going to sell fast, it can be a decent investment. But
in the beginning of this whole journey, I didn't understand any of this. I just thought it was a hobby and it took up his time and he was obsessive about it. Now that
I am obsessive about it.
You are obsessive about it, but I'm just saying, like, now that I'm kind of getting my feet wet, I can kind of understand a little bit more what truly happens and what takes place.
So tell us where you're coming from.
I am coming from not knowing absolutely anything about cards. I know that my mom had an old school collection from back when she did, baseball and all that good stuff. But I never really got my hands on it, didn't get my feet wet, had no knowledge of anything until we got together and you kind of explained us a couple of things. And then along the way, I kind of just picked up information based off of what you were watching or what you were doing and what you explained to me. And I still didn't get it. I had no idea what...
Well, it's like speaking a foreign language. If you jumped in on a conversation where I'm talking about sports cards, it sounds like a foreign language.
Well, not only that, but I couldn't understand what the obsession was. Like that for me,
Okay.
I was very much like, well, why? I don't get it, But now that I'm getting my feet wet with it, I get it a little bit more. But I also feel like coming from somebody that invests like you do, it's almost...
You keep using that word. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I don't invest.
I'm just saying, like, you specifically talked about having lower grade cards, flipping, doing all that thing. And then now wanting to have, like, bigger statement pieces, bigger slabs. And I am now getting into this part where you're at a certain level and I want to jump right into that.
You want to catch up. Yeah.
I want to jump right into it rather than being like, oh, here's $5, here's $10, here's $15. I want to be like, no, here's my $70 card that like...
Oh, you think $70 is a chunk of change.
No, it's not. But I'm saying like entry level, like most people don't start at $70.
So that's probably a good transition to tell you where I'm coming from, right? So I can remember, of course, being a kid, you touch a couple of cards, but you're a kid. You don't really understand the value. You don't really understand what you're doing. It wasn't until I was probably 20 years old.
Wait, when you say kid, how old were you?
Oh, I mean, I was collecting. Obviously, I was a Pokemon kid, just like most people from my era. But I had a handful of baseball and
Me
football cards. Never did any basketball at all. But it was when I was an adult. I was in college. I was probably 20 years old, 19 years old, something like that. And I stumbled across a hobby shop, All-Star Sports Cards on Grand Street in Escondido, California.
Hey, shout out to Esco.
And I walked into this store, and there was this old guy there who'd ran the store for like 30 years, and he sold me my first pack of sports cards.
Wow.
Like proper. And he explained the difference between retail versus hobby versus what's collectible
Which
versus
is
what's
major
not.
for a couple of different reasons. One, that's the oldest part of town. We both are from the same place in California.
Southern California, somewhere between it's North San Diego County.
So, oldest part of town, Grand was literally like the first hotspot of all time. And being that this man had a 30-year business there is huge.
And you didn't know that story. That's where
No,
that's
I
where it
didn't. That's
started.
really cool.
So he sold me a pack of 2011 Topps Series 1 baseball cards. And he sold me, at the time, they sold these fat packs that probably had 50 cards in them. It was a really it was a chunky pack.
Can you even get those anymore?
I don't think they sell them anymore. They just sell these little skinny packs, which are boring. They sold these chunky fat packs at the time. And I was immediately hooked. You're looking for, you're looking through the cards and you're looking for the inserts, and it was really, really fun. And of course, randomly enough, 2011, I believe, was Trout's rookie year. So there was some really, really good cards mixed in that bunch. But he gave me the itch. After that, I very quickly discovered ComC, which is Check Out My Cards, that website that I go to periodically.
Yep.
You discover eBay, you discover the world of the internet and what's out there. And I think the internet made collecting a lot easier for people in the 90s or 80s.
I mean, the internet's made a lot of
everything
things easier for
but
everybody.
if you were the weirdo who collected like fringe Franklin the Turtle memorabilia, you were an oddball.
Yeah, you were that was exclusive
but
to your trade and what you wanted.
As soon as the internet exists, you could connect with all the other weird Franklin the Turtle collectors, and you could converse
100%.
and create commerce with those people.
Yeah.
It did the same thing for baseball cards, where suddenly the world of collectors suddenly had access to each other. And I think that there was a small pop in the early 2000s that, I hate to say, there's so many cards that I bought and sold that were worth so much money that if I still had, I got in the habit of flipping cards pretty early. I was buying, I'll tell you just two stories real quick. The cards I wish I had.
This doesn't surprise me though, because you were like, "Let's go to the casino and play blackjack," and you're really
but
good.
It wasn't.
Anything strategic, you're so good at.
So I can remember being on eBay. I was sitting at a TGI Fridays bar counter.
Wait, do they even have those?
I don't know. Maybe I was sitting at a TGI Fridays bar counter, bidding on cards at the counter, literally drinking beer and betting on cards. And I was able to land, I can remember a specific moment, I landed a Travis Kelce autograph rookie card. It was Obsidian Green.
Wow.
Obsidian Green Parallel out of 25.
Did you freak out in the middle of the bar?
I think I bought it. No. It was his rookie year. So it was Travis Kelce. He was cool. He was great. He did great. But I think I bought it for $35. I sold it for $85 and thought that was a great gain. I would hate to see what that card is.
I was going to say
worth
now
today.
it's probably
But
insane.
Turning $35 into $85 was awesome. I sold it in a minute.
Yeah.
I had a Tom Brady kaboom and a Gronkowski kaboom, which I haven't explained what those cards are yet.
I was going to say, I don't even know what a kaboom is
but
yet.
I was able to land a Gronkowski kaboom for like $50 and sold it for $100. I thought that was a really good deal.
Yeah.
Kabooms are now worth thousands.
Ooh.
So if I were to have held on to those cards, I would have made some pretty good money. But
how would you have known?
I was flipping at the time. I was getting rid of a bunch of things.
I know, but how would you have known that now, future 2024?
You don't. That's
what that was going to be. You don't know. You kind of just go with what's at the hand in the moment.
Everybody's got that story of, the one that got away, the investment that got away. And, I could have bought Apple in 1987.
Yeah.
And yeah, you would have been great. But all of that to say, I have a collection of cards going back to 2011 is when my collecting really went through. Mm-hmm. And during that time, I was collecting a lot of baseball, a lot of football, but never got into basketball until very recently. But to this day, I have a really cool collection of just stuff that is really important to me, really valuable to me, and I'm looking forward to sharing some of that with you in time, obviously.
Yeah.
But fast forward, more than a decade, I've been collecting a good amount of time. You and I get married. You see me nerding out over pictures of dudes on cardboard.
It's not even nerding out at this point. It's obsessive. It is chronically obsessive.
I understand the judginess. If you're not in it, you don't get it.
Well, okay, listen. Mind you, I live in a house full of boys. I'm the only female, right?
We have 2 sons. One's 7, one's 4.
Yeah. So this is the thing. I get down with the boys. I grew up with boys.
We did our names, right? I'm Chris.
Whitney.
Did we do that?
Yes, of course we did.
I don't remember. Okay, keep going. Keep going.
So I live in a house full of a 7-year-old, a 4-year-old, and you, which is like, technically sometimes an extra child. But I am outnumbered severely with like sports and Pokemon and basketball and all this stuff. Well, Lincoln, our oldest, is in basketball. So we both kind of became enveloped in basketball because of him, quite honestly.
That's a true story.
And once I moved to Charlotte and we went to a couple of games, like the first game I ever went to was like, I don't really know, I don't get it. And then I got really invested, like very fast. More so, I think, than even you were.
No, you got invested in the team. So we live in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah.
I took her to a Hornets game, and after game 1, she was digging the...
Oh, I was sold.
She was digging it
I was
quick.
sold.
And I grew up watching baseball, football. I collected baseball, football. Basketball was not my thing. And then my kid decided to... I put him in basketball... I put him in baseball. Didn't really dig it. I put him in baseball, football. I put him in karate. Nothing really took. And then I put him in basketball, and... he was hooked. He loved basketball for whatever reason.
And it's funny because, like, coming from a background, like, you weren't super into sports. You did wrestling and all that. But, like, you've always loved watching it. But you weren't so much, like, into doing it.
Great spectator, not much of an athlete.
Yeah. And on my side, my whole family is, like, extremely competitive. Like, very, very, very much so. So I come from that side and watching it and really getting into it. I was like, oh, my gosh, this is it. So when he had approached me and said, like, all right, well, let's get you into cards, he really set me up for success because out the gate, he already gave me.
So I primed her on loving the sport first.
Yeah, true. But when...
which you took to like a fish to water.
He gave me my case the night of the card show. I had a bunch of Hornets cards in there, which I was...
So let me tell you, I prepared... I decided if I'm going to try to do this, let me take her to a card show, take her to a trade night. We did our local trade night. And I tried to get your feet wet, but I had to present it right. So I bought her a beer. I got the
helps everything.
Loosened everything up just a little bit, and I bought her a box. I went on Amazon, bought her a card box for like $30-40.
Well, rewind. Hold on, rewind, because it didn't just start there. Actually, it started when you bought those Target cards, and I opened them for you in the car.
True story. Okay,
that's where it all started.
You're right. Okay, so she loves. At this point, we live in Charlotte. Take her to a Hornets game. She loves Charlotte basketball. So she's following the players. She's watching the game. She's rooting. I was amazed because she's, at this point, we're a couple months into watching the Hornets together. And we're recently married, by the way. We've been married a grand total of 6 months?
Friday the 13th, October 13th, people.
Newlyweds still.
Even in October. You tell me that's cool.
So we get married. She starts going to Hornet games, and she's loving the game. She's loving the players. She's loving everything about it. So Prism Monopoly 2023-2024 comes out, and it's a Target exclusive. So I drag her to Target and say, look, it just came out today.
Mad.
You were mad.
I was really mad that he bought this.
You were like, this feels like gambling.
We went through a phase where he was like super obsessed every day of the week, and then he was buying cards all the time, and then he went and bought these damn boxes, and I was just like, why? Why do we have to keep doing this?
So we go to Target, and I get a couple of Monopoly boxes. We just get 2. They had 5 in stock, only 5 left. And I grabbed 2.
We should have taken all 5.
We should have taken all 5. I grabbed 2, and we go home, and I'm like super excited. And I ask her, like, will you open them for me while we drive? And I crack the seal and open it up and read me what you see.
Well, what did you ask for?
Oh, I told her, I was like, we're looking for Brandon Miller. Like, that's it. We're looking for Brandon Miller, Wembanyama, Scoot Henderson, anybody else, but like that's what we're looking for. And she opens her first box. She got a blaster box of Prism Monopoly. First one, you got, was it Brandon first or was it Nick?
Nick.
You got a Nick Smith Jr. Hornets rookie card, parallel purple, so it's like a nice color match. And she was like, oh, that's cool.
It was awesome.
That was awesome. I was like, we're looking for the rookies, and if we can get Hornets, even better. She got a Nick Smith Jr. purple parallel rookie Monopoly Prism card. And she was like, that was cool. And she keeps working through the pack, and she gets a couple of things. The very next blaster, Brendan Miller purple parallel. Our 2 rookies, 2 first-round draft rookie picks. She got purple parallels in her first 2 blasters ever. And when I say it was her first 2 blasters ever, they were my first 2 blasters of this product. She was hooked at that moment. She was like, I wonder what was in the other ones.
Yeah.
She was all, should we go back? I thought it would be nice. I bought you a box. I filled it with all of your favorite players so that we can go out. You could open it. You could be excited about what you had in hand.
Okay, but the only problem was that I didn't want to trade any of the ones that you gave me.
But I had to put cards in your hand. So
Yeah.
we're going to a trade night, so I had to give you stuff to trade.
I know, but I didn't want to trade anything, so I ended up buying too much when I was giving you a hard time about buying too much.
You totally spent all of the money that night.
All right, so despite the fact that I gave him so much crap for spending too much on cards, this is basically what I ended up getting. I bought this from the guy from the card shop, and I thought it was unique and cool. I got a PJ Washington. I got a Kobe. I got a LaMelo Select card.
You bought a lot of graded cards.
I did. I wanted to start high, and that was the goal. He gave me this one, actually. Thank you, husband. I really wanted this from a guy at the show, and he was not willing to trade with me unless I gave him this one, which was one of my ultimate favorites.
It's a really cool card.
That Chris gave me, so I couldn't, give it away. That was just not something I was willing to do. I opened the Monopoly pack, and these were the 2 that were in there.
This is last year's Monopoly, 2022-2023.
So we got Keegan Murray and Cole Anthony. And that's basically what I took away from the show.
But you went home with a T-shirt. You went home with... You got a box of
other cards. I got 2 silver packs. I got a black box.
Silver packs were a bust, unfortunately.
Yeah, I had bought some black cards. Or the black box was in one of the raffles.
Mm-hmm.
We got 2 T-shirts, and we got 2 silver packs.
Mm-hmm.
And opened those, which was really nice. But ultimately, it was it was really good night.
But you were hooked. Let me see that LaMelo again. You were... So she went to the wall, and she grabbed this...
Oh, yeah.
That's a gorgeous card. She grabbed a Chronicles LaMelo Luminance green parallel, and it's just a gorgeous card. But you were definitely... You were already itching.
Mm-hmm.
And after interacting with a few people...
I wasn't leaving without anything. That was... And it was already so intimidating going in there and being pretty much the only woman.
I gotta be honest, I set you up, and some dude came to trade with you.
Immediately.
Tell me about that.
So you set me up. I had my sign that you made me. I put it in the back of my box.
I made her a cute little sign that said, "New to the hobby. I collect hornets. Trade with me."
So this kid comes around as soon as I sit down, and he's like, "Can I look through all your cards?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't have much, but go
15.
ahead." So he looks through everything, and he wanted to take my Brendan Miller card that I just pulled. I wasn't willing
that Monopoly purple
parallel.
I
wasn't willing to let it go.
They were my boxes, but I decided...
He let me have them.
You opened them, you cracked them. If I'm going to get her hooked, I got to give her some good stuff.
I didn't want to let him have it. And I was like, okay, well, I'm sorry. I'm not willing to do the trade, but I bought 2 cards off of him for $10 instead. So that was my first interaction. But it is very... Or I guess it was very intimidating not knowing what to expect and being a female. You are completely expecting to be completely dismissed or preyed upon or treating almost like if you went to a car salesman and they see you as a woman and they're like, oh, well, you don't know what you're talking about, so let me kind of trample over you.
And I was curious. I figured it would be 50-50. Either people would give you tons of attention or take advantage of you.
Yeah, so I didn't know. And then you would go off and do your thing and I'm like,
Because let's be honest, the hobby is, if you go to any trade show, you were... How many ladies were there that night? One. Maybe. You, 1 plus 1 other, maybe?
1 other adult, and then there was a little girl.
Yeah.
But other than that,
and a whole bunch of dudes.
Yeah, it was a bunch of dudes. I had every conversation I had was with older men, and they were really cool. Actually, one guy, I got a kick out of this. He was so nice. I think his name was Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Super nice guy. Had a really good card. It was worth $3,500 or something like that. And he was trying to get his wife into it. He was asking me. He's like, well, how long did it take him to get you into it? How long did it take you to really come around to it? And I was like, quite honestly, we're so recently married and it didn't take him very long at all. And I'm like, I'm into it. I'm down. I'm ready to kind of do this adventure together. And there's more I want to learn. What I've actually really discovered is, like I was saying earlier, I'm not really willing. I take that back. I will do smaller cards just to have it be fun. but I kind of want like the.
You immediately have the expensive eye. You got the champagne taste.
I do, and I have that with everything. But like for me,
Because you saw some cool stuff.
yeah, and
You saw what good money buys.
I want like the unique things. Like I want like the old vintage baseball cards. I want like, you know, the newer like mint freaking basketball cards. I want like good stuff that other people don't have, that's not like a hot commodity everywhere. I want it to be niche and unique.
So that's actually a really good transition to what I was hoping to talk about, which was like figuring out what your collector identity is what you want to collect, because you got an eye and you go to these trade nights and you have to balance between what you like versus what other people like versus what's a good investment or a good sale piece.
Or what's an impulse?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And you'll find really quickly that if you showed up, like, you know, we just finished Super Bowl, right? If you showed up with a Patrick Mahomes card, it'd be gone in a minute. People would love to buy Patrick Mahomes, right? But if you show up with some obscure player that is only important to you, it's going to be really hard to move that card if you're trying to move it.
Yeah.
So you have to decide, are you going to collect a certain, you know, a specific sport, a specific team, a specific player, a specific era. You can collect wax, you can collect graded, you can collect raw.
I know.
You got to figure out what you're into.
There's
and that's
so many options. It's like there's so many options.
And not that you're pigeonholed into one thing.
No,
but you do need to have some idea of what you're searching for. Wait, I hate to interrupt this whole awesome show that we're doing here, but we messed up and it's the first episode. We forgot to press record at one point and ripped an entire box of NBA hoops and cut off half of our conversation about card collecting and, you know, everything that we are. So the good news is we recorded the second box of NBA hoops that we ripped without pressing play on this cell phone as well as the main camera. So you'll get to enjoy that right about now. Just start. I'm back. Oh, God. She almost forgot to press record. Twice. We already cracked the whole blaster. We're doing this the second time. First one, oh my God, it was so cool. You'll never know what was in it.
I'll show you if you want to know.
All right, baby, crack some wax. Let's go.
Okay. Try not to cut my finger off. Here we go, boys and girls.
Pass the trash.
Ladies and gents. Mothers and fathers. Okay. Let's move my blade out of the way.
So, you've already seen a whole blaster of hoops.
I sure have.
So what did you learn from the first blaster that the audience will not see?
Turn your camera on.
That's a good start.
Most importantly. I learned that there can be some really cool cards in there.
Hoops is a great set.
It is, and I honestly, when I did Prism, I really liked it, so...
I'm actually a really big Hoops fan. Hoops has great parallels. Hoops, I think, is kind of known for having some of those classic... sorry, not parallels. Classic inserts. So you're looking for your big rookies again. So we're looking for Wemby, Scoot Henderson, Brandon Miller, and a handful of others. So pause anytime you see anything shiny, anything awesome, or anything notable with that rookie logo. And call out the names as you see them. Oop, who's that? Who's that? Nope, keep going.
Some of the names I feel like I'm going to butcher, so like I just don't.
Yeah, try them anyway.
Vince Carter.
That's an easy one. Grady Dick. All right, that's a good rookie. Okay, so we got our first parallel there. Who's that?
I'm trying to read it, but it's
Purple's a tougher parallel to get, I think. I think it's blue and then purple.
Alperen Sengun.
Okay, veteran parallel, though. I'll take that.
Okay. And Anthony Edwards.
Insert, Skyview. All right, let's see another. So we learned that Skyview has a hollow version. So you just got a base Skyview. We're looking for those hollows.
The hollow is pretty friggin' cool. Okay. Okay. I had to move my... Forgive me.
You're doing it. Just do it better.
I'm trying. It's the first episode.
Good. Show that Damian Lillard again, though. I am a sucker.
Break.
I'm a sucker for good photography. That's some good photography right there. All right, Bradley Beal, Donovan Mitchell, Mitchell Robinson.
Keegan Murray. I got one of those.
Oh, by the way, flip it over, just on the backside. So you also notice that's a black back every once in a while, and we'll look through them at the end, but you'll see like a blue or a red or a green or a different back. You have to go through all of them afterwards.
James
Shea
Weissman.
Gilgeous-Alexander. You were struggling with that name. So was I the other day.
Yeah.
He's got a hell of a name.
Max Struss. Jeremy Sochin. Chris
Another
Murray.
rookie.
All right, let's see what we got. Anthony Edwards again. We got a Cason Wallace.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Shake Milton. And
Pure players. That's a
Jason
new insert.
Tatum.
I don't think that's an insert that I've seen before. I think it's a new insert.
Okay, next pack. Here we go.
They had one last year and the year before, and I can't remember. It was very similar. It's not pure players. It's something else wet. Splash. That's what it was called. They had a set that was very similar, an insert set called Splash. Now we got pure players instead of Splash, it looks like.
That was a cool series. Okay. Spencer Dinwiddie. What a last name. Brooke Lopez. Paolo
Banchero.
Um,
Rudy Gobert.
There you go. Daddy, you just do the names.
I can't read. Jake.
Luvaria.
Okay.
Lavaria.
Laravia. All we care is these are veterans. We're looking for those rookies. We're looking for good rookies. Darius Garland, Jalen Williams. Gigi Jackson. Interesting. His first name is Gigi. Oh, what do we got? We got a backwards card. Is that important at all? Flip her over. No, the other one.
Oh. Uh-oh.
What's going on here?
I don't know.
Ooh!
Nice.
Rise and shine. Okay, so read it for everybody. This is your first. You've ever pulled a relic card before.
No, I have not.
So that's a relic card.
All right.
Ozzer Thompson. Game worn or player worn or game used?
Says there's a few sweeter things than the two-way player than a steal that leads to a score. Thompson treated himself to such a sequence versus the Raptors in Summer League of July 12th, 2023. He swiped the ball to spark, you guys can all read the rest of it. It says, in the enclosed official licensed material is not associated with any specific player, game, or event.
So you will learn a little bit more about that in a minute, but that's still really cool. So you got a patch card. You got a relic card, patch card.
That is cool. I haven't actually seen or
That's
touched
neat.
or anything, any of those. Actually, I was just looking at one of yours.
I didn't even bring the right top loaders for that, so
before
we'll have to put
started
that to the side.
podcast, actually.
Very cool, baby.
Well, we still got 3 more. We're still doing work over here. Okay.
We got a Colby Jones arriving now insert.
We got something at the
I was
end
not
there.
expecting a relic card.
Oh, LaMelo Ball. We know who he is.
That's our boy.
Although he's been sitting out quite frequently.
Yeah, he'll
lately.
play again soon.
I'm hoping if they come back to home this next game, he's in. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm getting tired of seeing him on the sidelines here, people.
That's interesting. Go back to that one.
Which one?
No, the one you're holding. That's good. Marcus Stewart. They're holding up a jersey like it's draft
not Stewart,
card.
baby, it's Smart.
Smart. Sorry, Marcus Smart. They're holding up a jersey like it's a draft card, but there's no rookie card logo on there.
Yeah, that's true.
I wonder if there's a rookie there.
LeBron James. Lincoln would love that.
Yeah, we're not much LeBron fans in this family. Marcus Sasser. That's a good rookie. Gary Payton. Oliver Maxence Prosper.
Wow.
Hell of a name. Okay, that's a good one right there.
Nikola Jokic.
Jokic. Blue parallel. That's a good one. Ooh.
I know this one was
That's a
different.
new insert.
Oklahoma State
Dynamos.
Thunder.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. That might be a more rare insert. And then pass me that Jokic. He's a great player. But that Dynamos might be a more uncommon insert.
Alright,
Because you'll notice we're seeing a lot of these arriving nows, but that Dynamos, I think, might be a little bit less common.
2 more to go.
It's a pretty good box so far.
Yeah, so far, definitely. Oh, this one's going to be cool. It says, Rookie Greetings.
Oop.
Oh,
Don't spoil the name.
nope.
Could have been a good one.
Okay.
But it's not.
Let's see.
All right, DeMar DeRozan. Quentin Grimes. Royce O'Neal, no Wemby yet. Chris Middleton, Jordan Poole,
Sorry.
Jordan Jackson.
Fat fingers are in the way.
Oh, come on. I want to see what that purple parallel is. CJ McCollum. Keep going, keep going. Let's get there.
Oh,
That's
he's
pretty.
excited.
Another Joe kick.
He's
Ooh, you got one of your Hornets there. Armani Bailey. I'll take that rookie though, only because he's a Hornet.
Okay.
Klay Thompson.
Yeah. Jordan Walsh.
Okay, who's the purple there?
Victor Oladipo.
Not the right Victor.
Or Oladipo.
Point is not
How do
Wemby.
you pronounce that?
I'll take it. Let me see.
Because I'm butchering it. I know I am. All right.
Oladipo. But not the right Victor. That's the most important part there.
The Miami Heat greetings card.
And Jaime Jaquez Jr. All right,
Kinda
last
cool
pack
on the
mojo.
back, though. I think
You like those
that's-
postcard ones?
Yeah, I think it's neat.
All right,
Okay.
last
better-
pack mojo. Let's see
warm
what's
up
going
my-
on.
Let's warm up my fingers. Warm up my hands and my fingers.
That was a rookie though. Jaime Jaquez Jr. is a rookie. You got a rookie patch though. That's pretty cool. Oscar Thompson rookie patch.
Also, I didn't record the last one. I had to do a take two, so I'll show you guys what I left.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. We could do that.
I'll show you guys
As a
the,
recap.
the good stuff that I got.
All right, Robert Woodard has somebody. Mark Williams. You know Mark Williams. Second year. Tobias. Cade Cunningham. Chet Holmgren, not a rookie, second year. Jalen Duren, Cole Anthony. Come on, looking for our big rookies. Where's that Wemby? Where's that Wemby? I'd love to see a purple Brandon Miller would be awesome. Oh, who's this? Who's this? Victor Wembanyama.
There he is.
There you go. That's what you've been looking for. That's a couple of bucks right there. Who else we got? Oh, and we got a blue. All right, who's the blue?
I can't even pronounce that.
All right.
You're gonna have
Moving
do it.
on
It
to the
is
next.
Difficult for me to read that.
And, oop, you got your Hornet
Brandon
again.
Miller.
Brandon Miller insert. Good final pack, though.
Woo-hoo!
You'll take that. Not bad. Good little set.
So yeah.
You like Hoops. Hoops is a very popular set. It's
do
got
like
a long legacy set. It's been going around for a long time. So, good rip, honey.
Thank you.
All right, well, that
Concludes.
the Cool Factor Cards show, episode 1. We will look back on this 10 years from now
Hope it gets better from here.
as the show that started it all. Well, I brought the cards,
I brought the cool.
and that's all we got for you, folks. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you next week. Party on.
Bye.
Good job, baby.